Good morning. We are talking about magnesium for those of you who are watching the recording, and I am setting up the live stream on Instagram because it has to happen after I go live. Here, we'll make sure that we're live there. We are. Welcome. We are talking about magnesium soaking. Let me pull out. We have so many new people and they think I'm talking about pills when I say magnesium. So let's clarify that. My name's Kristen. I am not a doctor. I do talk about soaking in magnesium. Why this magnesium? Epsom salts do not penetrate like this. They cannot get you to cell saturation. And we want it from the sea undiluted. My promise to you, it will never be processed from flakes. When you use a flake, you've decreased the ability of the magnesium to enter the cell. My only goal with magnesium is cell saturation of 6.3 or above on my magnesium red blood cell test. That's it. That's my goal. And this gets you there. Sometimes, though, there will be issues. And so today I've lost my mouse. I'm using two screens. Oh, there we go. I see comments already coming up. That's great. It can make you itch. And I want to talk about why. Always and never, we use a lot. They're appropriate in this. So far, in over 20 years, when people say, oh, magnesium makes me itch, here's the reason why. You are so low in magnesium that usually it's from people spraying and they'll be like, oh my gosh, that makes me itch, or it burns, or it tingles. Those are the words that they'll use. It's because they are so low in magnesium. It's time to take the dogs out, but we'll turn that timer off. They are so low in magnesium that their body's pulling it up too fast. And soaking always takes it away so far. Now, remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing. I'm not telling you what to do. What I've seen over the 20 years of walking the journey with thousands of people soaking in magnesium is when you're using that spray, and oh, can I tell you, a flash sale is happening today. Buy one, get one free. I love these pumps we've specifically purchased for our magnesium. They don't clog up as much as a regular pump. I love having 4 or 5 bottles of this, and then I just refill it with this. I take it when I travel. I've got it in my car. I have it in my travel backpack. I have it by my computer. I love this bottle of magnesium, and it's buy one, get one free. The other thing you can do, now that's today only, and it is a flash sale, okay? Flash sale, today only. When I am traveling, if you want to use this as magnesium soak, it's the same as this. It's just in a different container. And so when I'm traveling, it gives you 4 soaks or 8 soaks for a child. And so a lot of times I'll just take this when I'm traveling. I always make sure to wrap it up and make so that it doesn't, if it does leak, if it does have problems, it's not getting on other things. So I really wrap it up well. This is on sale. Buy one, get one free today only. It is a flash sale. Great way to get the pumps and then just refill it. I don't water this down. Most companies do. And so you're getting a fraction of the magnesium. This is undiluted, just like this one is, different container and a specific pump because the crystals and the magnesium will clog the pump. This one does the least amount of clogging. If it does, run it under hot water, but this was the best pump that I could find for the application of magnesium. Today only, flash sale, buy one, get one free. If it's making you itch, we need to soak. Now, maybe you only bought the spray and then you're like, oh no, I have to buy this. No, actually you don't. 4 times of soaking will most people take that away. And so you'll take a quarter cup from each of from this and soak, and then when you spray, the burning is not there. Now, there could be, hold on, I need some water. Oh, I don't even have my mic in front of me. Oh, today was kind of crazy. Oh, there, maybe that's better. There could be an acid mantle issue. For example, if you have broken skin, yes, magnesium is a salt and it's going to burn. If you have an acid mantle that is having some issues and it's not in balance, the pH is not in balance, and you've got red little dots everywhere, yes, this is going to burn because it is a salt. So we don't want to put it on skin that's already having an issue. I'm talking about you're spraying it on your arm, there's no skin issues, and all of a sudden there's a tingling sensation. Some people call it a burning sensation. Magnesium shines the light on what is broken in your body. I want to help you understand the communication that it is giving you. If that magnesium itches and or feels tingly, it's extreme deficiency. Now, I'm on social media, I have to say it in a different way. It can be. Studies have shown that we need to get more magnesium in you. And understanding your magnesium burn rate is everything, in my opinion. For example, when you're looking at magnesium and you're like, okay, I met my day's quota of magnesium. Like I do that for fiber. I've met my quota today of fiber. Well, not today, but yesterday, we'll say I met my quota of fiber. Magnesium doesn't work like that. Understanding your own personal burn rate while soaking in magnesium will help you determine how often you soak in magnesium. Your personal burn rate is different than my personal burn rate. Here's the things that will make a difference in your burn rate. If you have autoimmune, you have a higher burn rate. If you are on medications, you have a higher burn rate. If you experience trauma as a child and you haven't learned how to regulate your body and keep it in rest and renew, you have a higher burn rate. If you've just had surgery, anesthesia drops your magnesium levels drastically, you'll have a higher burn rate. If you eat a ton of carbs, you have a higher burn rate. If you have migraines or pain in your body, you have a higher burn rate. And you need to adjust your soaking in magnesium to course correct that higher burn rate. And that's when I see women taking their power back, because no one can tell you how much magnesium you need. No one can tell you this is how often you soak. I can share some guidelines of what I've seen. Determining that yourself, taking your power back, and understanding your own personal burn rate opens the gateway to health. Number one, if your vitamin D is low, you had to have low magnesium to get low vitamin D, because magnesium converts stored vitamin D to active vitamin D. And that is the first gateway of health. If your vitamin D is low, soaking in magnesium has been shown to increase your magnesium red blood cell levels and activate that stored vitamin D to active vitamin D to open the gateway of immunity and health. It's critical that we understand that and that we take into account where we're at. For example, this morning, I have a secret to tell you. I don't like sales. I know people love sales, and I do them, and I will continue to do them. We get the meanest emails. I don't like them. And this morning, there was more mean emails. Now, I know that there were good emails too. On sales, the mean ones are amplified. And I start getting a little stressed, and that means I'm dysregulated. This morning, I didn't want to come on alive and be dysregulated. I had to do some breath work. I spoke with Shelly. Her and I laughed, and that helped regulate me back down. I asked about her cute little grandson, and thinking about him helped me regulate from the frustration of those emails of people screaming through the email and accusing us of things that were not accurate. Like, ugh. So taking into account, what are those things that trigger you? Like that one for me, team works so hard. We work so hard to bring those sales to people. And to be able to do that, my team works overtime. They worked on the weekend when they normally don't to bring a sale. And now you're screaming at us. Be kind and let's work it out and talk about it. That one is triggering to me. I've done my best. I know what team has done to support my desire to run a sale for people. I know that that is something that gets to me. Now, I'm not sharing that with you just to have the tea. I'm sharing that with you for you to determine what gets to you. And I know in my head, there is more positive comments than negative. But on sales, when it's negative, 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 that gets hard. What is triggering to you? What dysregulates you? And do you know when you're dysregulated? If you've ever said, I've tried everything, nothing works for me when it comes to your health, please, I beg you, look into regulating your nervous system. I do a monthly magnesium masterclass. And that masterclass, this next one, we're going to focus on regulating your nervous system through several different ways so that it doesn't matter where you're at, you can do that regulation. So, for example, I was walking into the office today and wanted to regulate back down from some people who treated Shelly unkindly. Like, do you know Shelly? Excuse me, don't treat her like that. I needed to regulate down. So I couldn't go get on my T zone vibration plate because that's an excellent way to regulate your nervous system. I didn't have 10 minutes. I needed to be live and was already running behind. Determine in your life, if you can take away one thing from our time together today, determine in your life what are those things that are dysregulating to you. And if you would like some tools, my magnesium masterclass happens on the first Monday of every month. I need some more water. And I'd love to have you join. Shelly will throw up the link for that. And I'd love to have you join. It's free. I'm reading the comments. I couldn't follow my train of thought at the same time. Shelly will throw up the link to that to join that monthly magnesium masterclass. And we just go a little bit deeper and do some more hands-on learning. You do have to show up on video. There's no cost, but your time, which, that's important. And you do have to show up by video. We take people out of the class. You wouldn't go to a physical class and put a bag on your head. You show up and you connect with the other people. Even if you don't talk with them, there's this connection that's happened. And I very much am creating that. And if you show up not on video, you break that connection. And we do take you out of that class if you don't show up by video. This next one, though, I'm really excited about. I've been doing my own learning, and I want to share the things that have really helped me with some stressful things going on that have helped me to stay regulated. When you are regulated in your nervous system, you utilize your magnesium more efficiently. Can we say that again? When you are regulated you hold on to the magnesium that you soaked in. Soaking in magnesium is the only way to achieve cell saturation once you're low. You can't do it through a pill. You can't do it orally because you can't get enough in without creating stomach issues. If you're like me and you want cell saturation, soak in magnesium. Okay, we've got some questions. So let's spend, I've got 15 more minutes. So I'm going to put my little timer on for 15 minutes. And we've got questions. And I love that. Thank you. I love that you're here and interacting. That makes my day and that helps my brain work. Okay, Maria, is this magnesium all types? Glycine, citrate, all oxide, all the types? No, it's not. My philosophy, and here's the really beautiful thing. You might have a philosophy that's different, and that's fine. And we can still be kind to each other and hang out with each other and connect with each other. I did all of the taking this magnesium for this and that magnesium for this. When I achieved cell saturation through soaking, because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. Now, if it didn't, we'd have to do all those different kinds. Because it's crossing the blood-brain barrier, and there was a study in the 80s, yes, soaking in magnesium will cross the blood-brain barrier. I don't chase with all of that synthetic magnesium. I give my body the magnesium that it needs in the cells, and this moves your red blood cell number. It's why Epsom salts are not the pathway for me. I use them, but I understand that they cannot get me to cell saturation. It's like Shelly and I. We have so many similar things. We love being grandmas. We love to laugh. We love focusing on health. We love our families. If you came to me with a problem like on the texts that go out to say I'm going live, I'm clueless. I can't help you. I wouldn't even know where to start. Shelly does her job so well, and she understands those pathways. Now, if you came to me to talk about magnesium, I'm all over that. I'll share with you 20 years worth of feedback of what I've learned to see if it might help lift and benefit you. Epsom salts. So if you came to me with a technical issue, I'm not there. If you went to Shelly, absolutely. Epsom salts, if you're going to Epsom salts to get you to cell saturation, you're setting yourself up for failure because Epsom doesn't penetrate the cell. Epsom is great for relaxing muscles. It's great for sulfates if you can break them down in your liver. And magnesium chloride is great for cell saturation. I like things simple. I like things easy. And I want to put the least amount of time for maximum benefits, especially when we're talking the first gateway of health. Magnesium opens the door for the first gateway. And if you don't have this door and gateway opened, you're not at optimal health and everything is harder and takes longer. And so it is, Maria, sea brine magnesium, undiluted, not processed from flakes. I could spend about $2 a bottle and get processed magnesium that's been made in a lab, just like the synthetic magnesium that you take, and make literally millions of dollars. I don't do that. My focus is health. My goal is helping women stand up and feel good and share their passions and create. When a woman feels good, she creates, and she creates a better environment for children. And that's what my passion is. I sell undiluted sea brine magnesium that comes from the sea. And guess what? Dreams come true. Pinch me. We're headed over to Zechstein, where I purchased the magnesium to meet with them and watch the process and become more educated. There's a doctor over there I've wanted to meet for 20 years, and it's coming true. We're going to go do that. I want my magnesium at optimal levels with optimal penetration into my cell. And if you want that, you want undiluted, not processed, not from flakes, not made in a lab, because this has cofactors. It has other nutrients in it that are naturally there in nature, and that helps penetrate the cell. Oh, Angela, I know that that can be triggering for some people, and I recognize that. And if so, this isn't the class for them. And I have triggers, and I have to take care of myself and those triggers and do what's good for me. And if someone had that trigger of not wanting to show up with their face and be seen, then this class wouldn't be good. Now, for example, we have people showing up that are at work and they're not like sitting there on camera the entire time. They're up, and when we can't even see them, but we can see their space. That black screen that happens when you show up without video disconnects and takes away from the very thing I'm creating. And if that's not a good option for you, for anyone, then this class wouldn't be something that is a great thing to join. I recognize that triggers are real and they happen. And I also recognize what I'm creating in that class. And it's one of those, I've drawn the boundary, and this is what it is. The classes are not as good when people don't show up in that visual way. And I want the class to be life-changing for people. I want, if someone has taken the time to come to one of my classes or one of my lives, I always say before I get on, help me to create something that women walk away that they can take action on. And it happens more efficiently and more easily when we show up by video. I need some more water. Oh, Carrie has a great question. I got my liquid boron from Amazon. Do I ingest it or add it to my foot soak, or both? Big disclaimer again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing. I'm not telling you what to do. I do want to share what has worked for me, like we're sitting at lunch and just talking. Okay, so very important. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm laying it at your feet for you to make the best decision for you. If you want optimal health, you must become the CEO of your body. You are in charge. You're not influenced to do something just because it works for someone else. You're evaluating, determining, is this a good fit for me, where I'm at on my journey with my body? I think it's so important. Your body, your journey, your way. And as I say that, now here's some things I've learned about boron. Boron is powerful. It is anti-inflammatory and will help to bring pain down in your body if you're someone that deals with a lot of pain. It helps hold the magnesium in the cell. At the same time, too much of it can mess with your hormones. You can take a pinch of, I personally wouldn't use liquid because it's more expensive. I would just use powdered. Take a pinch of powdered boron and put it in your soaking water, and it will adjust the pH. And if someone has very hard water, it will help the uptake in very minute amounts, not massive, but very, very minute amounts. If you have hard water, that boron will help you, help your body uptake the magnesium. Boron changes the pH. Like, for example, when you clean with it and you've got something dried on, it changes the pH, breaks it down, and it's easier. Boron cleans up your cells. it also can mess with your hormones if you're taking too much. If you have PCOS, boron will make it worse. You can take too much boron, and you must determine what a good fit for you is. Boron is not something that I take every day. It is something that I take, but not every day because it's too much, even in small amounts, and it starts to mess with my hormones. With boron, if someone is starting to take that, you must evaluate where you're at with your hormones, with your inflammation, and what the right amount for you is. If you are choosing to ingest, start slow and continue the course very slowly, only adding, in my opinion, that one thing in so that you know exactly what it's doing for you. When I had the shop and I got to stand in the shop all day and just talk with people, I miss those days. When I had the shop and people would come in, they would try a little sip and be blown away. Their shoulder felt better, their back felt better, their foot felt better. You have to do it what's appropriate for you and take those hormones into play. And if you have PCOS, your body will convert testosterone, because PCOS, you're converting testosterone too fast. Your body's making too much. The boron will just magnify that, and that's not a good fit. For some people, it's a game changer. For me, it's an absolute game changer, but not for everyone. And take your hormones into that equation of determining what's good for you. Can't you put a pic on the video? I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one. And yes, I could. I've just never done that, but maybe I'll try. I'm not sure what picture you're talking about. Sometimes the comments come in after I'm done, and then I can't make the connection. Becky has a great question. What's wrong with magnesium flakes? Not that anything's wrong. It just doesn't get me to where I want to go. So think of a fermented sourdough bread and a Wonder white bread. Those two things. The nutrient level and the benefits to your body are day and night difference. Magnesium flakes have to be processed. I don't care where the magnesium flake comes from, even if it comes from the Zexine sea, to turn it into a flake, it has to be processed. And it creates hydrochloric acid, which breaks down the pH of your acid mantle on your skin, and which it has to have that hydrochloric acid. When you make your own liquid from flakes, you're increasing the amount of hydrochloric acid. In fact, people that have the flakes and sell them will tell you, do not turn this and concentrate it into a spray because of the increase of hydrochloric acid in that concentration level. If they had a different process to turn it into flakes that didn't decrease the benefits, I might look into it. When you process the flakes, the magnesium that can go into the cell is greatly reduced. I want things easy, I want things fast, and I want things efficient. Cell saturation happens when you soak in magnesium chloride, and that is my only goal with magnesium, is cell saturation. That's my goal, cell saturation. Flakes are one of the most expensive and slowest ways to get there, and it drops the acid mantle on my skin. And so for me, they're not a good fit. Now, if you use flakes, it's not that you're wrong. you're using flakes. I personally don't. And because I know what my goal is with magnesium. Okay. Oh, Sarah. Oh my gosh, Sarah, thank you. Sarah's coming in from YouTube. Sarah Rigby. Hello, Sarah. Um, and she said the picture question is probably asking, could they just put their picture on Zoom instead of having their camera on? Great question. And Sarah, thank you. That makes sense. I wasn't finding that connection of what that question was about. And my answer to that is no. My goal is creating connection. And a live person, that's what we connect with. And these calls are not a call that I'm creating that connection. And if that's not a good fit for you, then it's not a good fit. That's my boundary, and I'm holding that boundary because I know the difference it makes for women. And maybe if you're, because I recognize that can frustrate people. If you're really wanting that class, maybe your focus is, okay, what is my trigger? Why am I being triggered by showing up? What could I do that I could show up on that class? And then maybe you take some steps into place to get to that point to do that. I hold that boundary strong for the women that do show up on that class because there are powerful takeaways that happen. Jennifer had a great question, and this is the last question because my 15-minute timer went off. Let me grab a little more water. Okay. Can you soak too much? I had my RBC done after soaking for 30 days and was within normal range. Is there an optimal lab value to aim for? Jennifer. When I started over 20 years ago advocating for magnesium and really starting to wrap my head around and take responsibility back for my own health, the lab value for a magnesium red blood cell test was 6.3. That was the gold standard. Numerous years in on this 20-year journey of advocating for magnesium and soaking in magnesium and achieving cell saturation while soaking in magnesium in an unprocessed magnesium that does not come from flakes and has not been manufactured in a lab. The lab dropped their value and said, oh, 5. 5 is the standard. That's a big difference. And I had seen the benefits when women got to 6.3 and maintained it. I'd seen the benefits, so I called the lab. And the reason that the labs across the board dropped it is people were not meeting that standard like they used to. So they changed it so people met the standard. I am not willing to drop my standard because as a society, as Americans, we're getting sicker every year, not healthier. The whole reason I do this is not to be that typical American who's getting sicker. I want to get healthier every year. And so I keep the old standard. Some people are fine with 5 and they go with 5, and that's great. That's what works for them. And this is where you have to step in, become the CEO, take in the information that you've just learned and make a decision and make it strongly and don't agonize over it. And I'm not saying that you do. This is where I see women agonizing like, oh, no, no, no. And that agonizing is a way of self-harming and keeping your body dysregulated. That agonizing back and forth, what should I do? I made the decision, but oh, should I have done this? You're leaking so much magnesium when you do that. You're leaking your power and you're leaking your magnesium. And your decision might be a 5. Oh, 5 is good for me. That's going to be my goal. I'm going to maintain there. And I applaud you for making the decision that works for you. I celebrate like, oh, that's exciting. Mine is 6.3. I want that old standard of those benefits And remember, it's in milligrams. And Sarah, who actually helped me put together the picture question, is actually the one I couldn't figure out why some people were saying, well, I did my magnesium red blood cell test, but it wasn't even close. They're looking at millimoles on their test, and I'm talking milligrams. So 6.3 milligrams is my goal for magnesium. I want to know, what's your takeaway? That we've spent a half hour together, and hopefully you felt connected, and that always increases our health. Connection helps regulate our nervous system. What was that one takeaway that you're taking away? And while you type in that, I want to remind you that today only, today is Monday, the 26th of August. Buy one, get one free is happening with our magnesium sprays. Buy one, get one free today only. It is a flash sale. That means if you email me tomorrow and say, oh, I just watched the video, today only. I have to draw that boundaries. Boundaries are so important in keeping magnesium in your body. And so today only is the buy one, get one free. Sue, now here's the thing. Sue just said, I didn't know that from flakes to spray. If it's a good fit for you, do it. It's not a good fit for me. I know what I want for my health. I know what I want from magnesium. And I know the issue that comes from flakes because of the processing and what they create during being processed, the hydrochloric acid. Now, hydrochloric acid is good in our gut, but it's not good on our skin, even in trace amounts. And our skin is an organ and needs to be treated as such. If it's a good fit for other people, that is great. Make your decision and make it strongly with the information so that you can make the best decision for you. And Jennifer, I didn't hit the first part of your question. Can you soak too much? My husband soaks, even though we've finally got him back to cell saturation after his amputation. He soaks a lot. The ritual, the calming, it's harder to get too much magnesium when you're soaking than taking it by pill. You do want to keep it in balance though, because too much magnesium will imbalance your voltage. That'd be a good one to talk about a little bit deeper. You can soak too much. And we've got to make sure, if you're soaking like my husband does, as often as he does, we've got to make sure that we're maintaining potassium and salt to keep our bodies balanced, because magnesium is the first step to voltage, and voltage is the foundation of everything in healing: magnesium, potassium, salt. Okay, Jennifer shared a takeaway. Thank you. Jennifer said, my biggest takeaway was in your last answered question: sabotaging ourselves by wondering and questioning. It is, I agree with Jennifer said, it is so true. And that's where we have to close the gap. And we can close the gap on our magnesium burn rate. We are in charge, and we become the CEOs of our body, and we take that power back, and we stop those patterns that are leaking magnesium. We stop those patterns. We evaluate, where am I being triggered? Where am I leaking my power? Where am I not using my voice? For example, this happens a lot here. Let's go to lunch. Okay, where you want to go? Oh, I don't know, wherever you want to go. Oh, no, you choose. Back and forth, back and forth. It happens especially with women. If you're ever in that situation, stand up and say, let's go here. Use your voice. Make a decision. A lot of times when that happens, it's because people don't want to choose something that somebody else might not like. And it is crazy to me when I hear back from women who accept that challenge. what happens in other areas of their life. Because if you play a pattern anywhere, you play that pattern everywhere. When you take your power back, you hold on to your magnesium, and your soaking in magnesium becomes more efficient. Your voice and the lack of magnesium in your body, we need to get that in sync and put that back together. Your voice, your power, and magnesium go hand in hand. Little things. If someone says, "Where should we go to lunch?" Tell them the very first time. Say, "Oh, I heard about," and go there without agonizing that the other person doesn't like it. Use your voice powerfully. When you start doing that in little places in your life, you take your power back and you hold on to the magnesium that you soaked in. That to me is help, because it's not just about soaking in magnesium. It's about becoming the CEO of your body and putting power into your voice, because you have important things to say that the world needs to know. We need you. We need you standing up. Have you seen how crazy it is out there? We need women who are passionate, standing up and feeling good and using their voice and creating, because invariably, when that happens, you make the world a better place for children. And that is the ultimate drive behind living the good life naturally. Okay. Oh, Janice. Oh, Janice. Oh, I want to talk about this. Okay, we're going past the 30 minutes. This is my passion. I'll get my other work done. Janice, I do not have the words to tell you what your comment means to me. I'm going to read it so that other people know what it is. My biggest is the boundary you set. It's your rules and your space. Love the power and accountability to yourself and your personal brand. That boundary, I was shaking as I knew that was my boundary. And I've gotten flack for that boundary. I've gotten anger from women for that boundary. And I recognize that they were upset because they want to show up to the class without being seen. And I am convinced that healthy women who hold their own boundaries support other women. And setting that boundary is hard for me. I was shaking because I want people to feel comfortable, and I want them to be a part. And I work hard on those classes. I don't do like free classes and like, oh, I'm not sharing this, I'm not sharing this. When I do a free class, I treat it like my paid classes. I give everything I have to the time that women have invested to be there. Healthy women support boundaries. And I just don't have the words to tell you how much that means to me, that you saw it as a boundary of love, not as a boundary of pushing people away or not wanting to be there. I have set that boundary, and I appreciate you supporting that boundary so much. Healthy women set strong boundaries. And when we have a boundary and we don't hold it, that leaks our magnesium. If you're frustrated, if you've said, this is my boundary. Now, I need to be flexible, and there might, on some things, you might need to change that boundary. My husband and I are doing that right now in our marriage. There's some boundaries and some things that are changing, and we need some flexibility for some things that have been happening for years. I can't think of how long we've been married. And so there does need to be flexibility on those boundaries, not rigidness. at the same time holding the boundary when it needs to be held. And that's a journey. That is a journey. And Janice, that that you showing up and sharing that with me is like pinch me, my life is real, dream come true moment. Creating an environment that invites women to come in and hold those boundaries and support other women holding those boundaries is everything I want here at Living the Good Life Naturally, so that other women can feel supported and feel seen and be heard and know there are other women out there holding those boundaries, and there are women who will support those boundaries. So thank you. I wish we were in real life together. I'd give you a big hug if you were comfortable with that. Thank you for supporting that boundary. And I know that it is hard for some women because they want to show up, and for some reason there's something that's really hard for them, and I recognize the hard, and I recognize that that is real. I also know when women show up, there's a deeper connection, and through that there's more empowerment and more taking away the very thing that I'm creating. So have a beautiful day. Thank you, Janice, so much. And everyone, Jennifer, all of the things that came in. I thank you for being here, for interacting, for being a part. Remember, buy one, get one free, 2-day only. Buy one, get one free. It's the best sprayer. After I had a couple of sprayers, I don't get rid of the sprayers. I just refill them with this because it's the same thing. I don't water this down. It's the same as this. And that way, when you travel, you've got 4 soaks. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to rinse this sprayer off because magnesium is a salt and causes issues eventually with the sprayer. I'm saying that this sprayer is the best that I have found, and it's buy one, get one free. Grab a couple, and then you've got them maybe by your computer. I keep one in my car. I keep one in my little go bag. If there's issues, I love having these around. Buy one, get one free. And I would just love for you to join the Good Journal. If you enjoy these lives, the Good Journal is a little bit longer. We're on a Zoom call. We can see each other, and they're free. They happen the first Monday of every month at 11 Mountain Standard Time. And I'd love to have you be a part of that. And Monday and Wednesdays are Magnesium Moment. And I go live at 9 a.m. on Monday and 9 a.m. on Wednesday. Monday is more about questions about magnesium and soaking. And Wednesday, we dive a little bit deeper and bring in other topics that dovetail magnesium. But we're always focused on magnesium and achieving cell saturation and focused on opening that first gateway of health. If I would have understood that, it wouldn't have taken me as long to get out of that wheelchair and feeling good in the morning. And that's what Living the Good Life Naturally is about, is helping women understand that so they can make the best decision for them, make it strongly, and move forward in creating or maintaining optimal health. Have the best day. Bye. End it on Instagram. Love seeing, oh my gosh, is there a code or something? Because when I went to the website, it still says 39. The buy one, get one sale, Country Farm Organics, is on the spray. So we've had BOGOs happening. It's been like back to school BOGOs. I love back to school time. I recognize that it's so expensive to get kids ready for school and, with the physical of the clothes and the backpacks and the back to school supplies, we also need to focus on back to school for their brains. And that's why I did a whole week of back to school BOGOs. We had different time periods for different things. Right now, we have the BOGO on the spray. We have the BOGO on the spray. Oh, Ginger. Okay, though I can stream on Instagram. The downside is I don't see the comments like I could see the ones from YouTube and Facebook. So I want to answer this one while I grab some water. Ginger said, I have your Mag lotion and Mag body spray right before bedtime, where our body is best to use these products for best effect. The magnesium lotion, I would use, if you're using it before bedtime, definitely on the feet. And I would just do a nice little massage, just on their shoulders and rubbing down their arms and just helping to put them in that calmer, slower place will help them sleep. Plus, it gives them some magnesium. The spray, I would definitely put on their feet. And there's another question on Instagram. How many pumps? As much as your feet will absorb. And so you can be pumping and it's dripping off. That's not doing any good. So we want as many pumps as that foot will absorb. That will vary from a little foot to a size 13 foot. And so that will change, but just as much as it can absorb. Once it starts dripping off, the magnesium's not doing anything. Okay. And the oh, Sophia, you're so welcome. That was the kindest comment. Thank you. Thank you. You're so welcome. Oh, Liz, thank you. Okay, I think this is what I'll start doing at the end of the lives is go over to Instagram and grab those. Okay. Oh, Trisha, this is a great question. And if it's gone too long for you, hop off. Trisha has a great question and I am going to answer that. Magnesium in your armpits and odor. I use magnesium spray under my arms as a deodorant, and it helps with body odor so much. Some people don't like it. I love it. And so I do use it. If you are shaving under your arms and you spray, that fresh skin with the magnesium chloride is not a good fit. It will tingle, not because you're low in magnesium, but because that's fresh skin that you just shaved. Try a little test patch to see if it works for you. I love it, and it helps with body odor without all of the chemicals. Some people do not, though. Try it and see if it works. It does help with body odor. Your biggest lymph is right here. I hope you do the big 6 every day from Dr. Perry and get that lymph moving. Many people report that their body odor is so much better when they use it as a deodorant. Some people don't like it though. Play with it, see if it works for you. And then I call it leaving no stone unturned. Like you're turning that stone over, you're determining, does this work for me? Yes or no. And if it's no, you turn the stone back and you never have to do that again. If you see somebody talking about it, you don't care because it didn't work for you. You're being your own little science project. Turn that stone over. And for me, it worked beautifully and I love it. And it made such a difference. And it helped because of all those, chemicals that we're putting under our body with the deodorants and antiperspirants. And I love the fact that just a single ingredient that my body needs anyway, that's right there by my largest lymph. And so before I put my magnesium body spray on as a deodorant, I do the big six and really get my lymph moving. It takes 2 minutes in the morning. And then I put this on so that I've got that lymph moving, because that's what pushes the magnesium through your body, is the lymph. And I love knowing that my lymph is moving. And then I use this under my arms and it's acting as a deodorant for me. It's also giving my body magnesium. And so this is my favorite. Buy one, get one free today only. Today only. Buy one, get one free. Today, for people who are watching this as a recording, today is Monday, August 26th. Today only. Buy one, get one free. And using it as a deodorant is a beautiful fit for me. And let me know if you ever try it. So, Trisha, that was a great question. And on the odor going away, it does benefit odor. If there's really strong odor in your body, though, something's off, it will minimize odor, but for some people, it won't take it completely away. And so that's a personal part of that journey. So to say, oh, it burns through all odor, it does help get rid of it. Some people, it won't, depending on where they're at and their lymph and their health. Oh, have the best day. Great question, Trisha. Bye-bye. Okay, so here.